I'm Jane Cope here, and you're listening to Happy in the Middle, a podcast for Christian women who want to make the second half of life the best half. This podcast is all about helping women to reignite their spark and step into their divine power in order to create deep and connected relationships and also find that fulfillment and satisfaction they crave. So, if you're ready to grow, join me and learn how you too can overcome guilt, resentment, disappointment, and enjoy the fruits of creating a life well lived. Let's go. Hey friends, welcome back to the podcast. This is episode number 126. You're not having a bad day. Here's what's really happening. Oh my goodness, I love Wednesdays, you guys. It is the day I usually record these episodes, and it feels like kind of the best form of self-care. I really love it. It pushes my brain to think, to create. It always helps me to become more clear about my own life too. So today's episode is a reminder that I needed to give to myself, and you all get to come along for the ride. If it helps you, it's a double win, right? I always find it so fascinating when I receive emails from people, and I do appreciate you sending me those notes, my friends. Thank you so much for your support. But I love hearing from them. They're sharing things that they're learning here and helping them to change their lives. And most of the time, they're people I've never even met, right? I do this for free. I love sharing this content for free. It's my way of helping those who truly can't afford coaching. I'm so grateful for the contribution I can make to help you to have more joy in your life. And if you're someone who's been listening for a while and finding it helpful, would you please hook me up? Just go write a quick review for me. It really makes a significant difference in helping more people to find this content. And I so appreciate it when you take just a minute and write a nice review. Seriously, thank you, sister. I love that you're here and that you're coming back every week for more coaching. I personally believe that doing this work on ourselves is not a luxury. It's a responsibility. And when people tell me they can't afford coaching, in rare circumstances, I think that's true. Some people truly don't have the money for it. But what I find is often more true is that we do have money. We just choose to spend it on different things. And I get it. It is work to learn to manage our minds. It's work to overcome our insecurities. And it is hard to take responsibility for our own destructive patterns. But when you think about your life and you consider the example that you're setting for your family, and you ask yourself, is this an example of someone who's evolving and willing to grow? Or is it of someone who's hiding and hoping that things will magically change one day? I think that helps you to know what step is next for you, right? If this rings true for you, push pause right now. Go book a free call with me. Let's talk about it. All right, let's get to our topic, shall we? Ask yourself this question, do you think it's possible for you to stop having bad days? Most of us think a bad day is just something that happens to us, right? But I want to offer that it's actually something your brain creates and then believes. The truth is there are just days. There are days that happen every single day like clockwork, right? And they're just days until you add a brain or a mind to it. I remember way back in the day when I was working first with my coach, Brooke Castillo, and she first shared this with me. And the way that she illustrated it was by posing the famous question, if a tree falls in the forest and no one is around to hear it, does it actually make a sound? In a way, it's just like days, right? They just happen. And depending on the perspective of the person who's alive and breathing to witness it, depending on the meanings that their brain assigns to their day and the stories they tell about it, it can become a good day or a bad day. I want to share a great story with you. I remember one of our neighbor's sons went on vacation to the beach with some friends, and he was out in the waves learning to body surf. Well, the surf that day was really rough and it was breaking hard on the shore. And for those of you who body surf, I grew up in Southern California and my parents taught me, which I'm so grateful because I love, love, love to body surf. But when you body surf, this is a dangerous condition, right? When those waves break on the shore, it slams you into the sand. If you're not riding the wave, right? If you get caught up in the wave, it can slam you onto that sand and there's no cushion. There's no water beneath you to cushion that blow. Well, this is exactly what happened to this young man, and he'd sustained a neck injury. So some might say he had a very bad day. But when you know the rest of the story, your mind might change. So let me tell you a little bit more. Because of the thorough evaluations at the hospital, it was determined that the neck would be okay. However, the scans revealed that he had a serious brain tumor. Now, again, most of us would double down on the bad day and say, this isn't just a bad day. Now, this is the worst day of his life. Right? Again, we need to see the whole rest of the story to know if that's true. In this case, because of his injury in body surfing, he was able to get quick and really helpful treatment for the cancer. And now he's healthy and well and married with a new baby. Some might say that day on the beach saved his life. Some might even call it the best day ever. When your brain assigns meaning to difficult moments, that meaning creates a cascade of negative emotion, right? I talk about this all the time. Your thoughts create your feelings create your actions. And when we assign that negative meaning and we feel that negative emotion, our brains go to work collecting evidence all through the day to prove, yes, this is a bad day. And of course, our lower brains do this because they're trying to keep us aware of all the bad things that can happen. They're just trying to keep us safe, right? But it really becomes a problem when we allow one moment to define the whole rest of our day. When we do this, we take one little instance and we let it define the day. This type of thought pattern can become a habit. Do you know people who have bad days every day? Right? It is an indulgent feeling, that feeling of self pity, of blaming outside circumstances for creating our bad mood or creating our lack of productivity or our inability to be kind to other people. Right? We have to watch for those moments when our brain jumps in to assign meaning to events, even little ones like stubbing our toe as we get out of bed or seeing storm clouds when you were hoping for sunshine. Our lower brains like to say, this day is awful. Nothing's going right here. Nothing ever goes my way, right? Of course, this would happen to me. That's not truth. That's just a story. So it's super important not to globalize, right? But to see each individual circumstance as its own unique moment, not a whole day. A more grounded way to think is, that moment did not go how I wanted, or I'm feeling frustrated right this minute, right? Notice how that just keeps the problem contained instead of letting it spread like wildfire. You've got to separate the facts from the story. So let me give you another example. Let's say you've been trying to reconnect with your husband and you sent him a loving text, but he didn't respond to it. So then maybe you have the thought, he doesn't care about me. He doesn't care about my feelings. He doesn't care enough to respond, right? And then you feel hurt or irritated, right? So then maybe you withdraw or you snap, you overthink the situation all day long, let it really fester and let it ruin your day. Before you let your brain run away with the story that he's ignoring you, we have to pause and ask the question, what else could be true? Right? When you put your brain to work finding the answer to that question, it will likely come back with answers like, he's probably busy. He didn't see it. This doesn't mean anything about me. He's really engaged in his job today, right? This happened to me once, my friends, and I was pretty upset by the time my husband came home. And then I learned that he'd forgotten to take his phone to work. And all of that storytelling in my brain had been a complete waste. It had caused me a lot of pain. And it was so unnecessary. It was so innocent. Just left his phone at home, did not even see the text, right? When you experience a negative emotion during your day, take time to process it. Don't resist it. Sometimes our bad days keep going on and on because we will not take the time to feel our emotions. A bad day often becomes bad because we fight how we feel inside. We push it away with thoughts like, I shouldn't feel this way, right? We don't allow ourselves to do what is coming naturally, right? We think things like, why can't I just be happy? So we sort of shame and blame ourselves. We shouldn't feel this way. Why are you behaving this way, right? Or we think things like, this is ruining everything. When we have that resistance, it adds a second layer of suffering. Instead of giving it the attention it's asking for, we're trying to push it away. It's so important to name it. I feel disappointed right now. Or it makes sense that I feel angry. You could think to yourself, I can feel this emotion. I can breathe into it. I can process it. I can allow it to move through my body. Just give me a minute, right? Take time to regulate yourself. You don't have to let that emotion make your whole day terrible. When you allow yourself to process your emotion, it does move through you instead of just sitting there and knocking at the door until you give it the attention it's asking for. When you resist emotion, it runs the show. And when we let our emotions run the show, it never turns out well. You know what I mean? It's like the tail wagging the dog, right? Every single day, we get to decide on purpose what kind of day we'll have. Sometimes I'll have clients who really resist this. They want to insist that they're having a bad day. And I kind of push them a little on it. I say, really? Are you alive? Do you have fresh water to drink? Is there anyone shooting at you? Are you safe? Do you have clothes to wear? Do you have people to love? Man, sounds like a blessed life. Sounds like a really great day to me, right? It all comes down to what we're focusing on. Instead of asking, is this a bad day? Instead, ask, who do I want to be today, even in this moment? So that might sound like, this is a hard moment, not a bad life. Or I can still create something good today. Or I'm not giving this moment the power over me. I'm not going to let it define me. You're not pretending everything is great. You're choosing not to hand your power over to one experience, right? There's 24 hours in a day. A 15-minute episode should not define that full 24 hours. So, asking these types of questions helps you to interrupt the spiral early. You must catch it early, or your brain will build momentum. So, if you find you're starting to spiral, a simple reset could be pause, name what's happening. I'm telling myself this is a bad day, right? Be onto yourself. Is that thought actually useful? Is it actually true? And then the next step is just to choose a better thought. And it doesn't have to be the perfect thought, it just has to be better than the one you're currently having. So if your thought is, I'm telling myself this is a bad day, okay, is that useful or true? That might not be true. It might be that there could be something else good happen today. Wonder what that might be. What could I look forward to? What could I anticipate? Can I make someone else's day better? That always brightens my day when I can bring someone else a little joy. And it gets me out of my head and out of the spinning and self-pity that spiraling thinking of bad days creates. Another example might be that shifting your thought from everything is going wrong to, a couple things didn't go how I wanted, and I can handle that. I'm an emotionally mature adult and I can figure it out. The last thing I want to offer on this topic is that you can redefine what a good day means. This is a little bit deeper work, but it's really, really helpful if you can wrap your brain around it. Think about what your definition of a good day is. What does that mean for you? Does that mean that everything goes smoothly? That everyone behaves how you want them to behave? That your body feels good, that you feel healthy and well and energized all day? If that's your definition of a good day, you're going to lose a lot of the time, right? A more powerful definition to adopt for yourself might be, a good day is one where I show up intentionally. Or, a good day is one where I allow myself to feel my feelings and still love my life. Or, a good day is one where I don't abandon myself, where I don't give up and throw it all away, where I carry on, right? Where I continue to look for the good things in my life. That's a definition that you can actually win, right? This isn't delusional. This isn't just hyper positivity. It's actually finding the real truth that your lower brain is missing. It's resisting that truth because it wants you to have the bad day. You don't have to avoid bad days, my friends. The work for all of us individually is to stop labeling your life in ways that hurt you, right? Manage your thoughts instead of believing all of them. Feel your emotions without spiraling, and then choose who you want to be, no matter what's happening around you. When you really practice this, you don't eliminate hard moments. They're always going to be there. but you can keep them from turning into bad days. And that stops you from the habit of piling up those bad days that in turn turns into a bad life. We have more control than we think. Our thoughts matter so much. In Philippians 4:8, it says, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, think about such things. What is the gift or the learning in this moment for me? What is it trying to teach me? What is the golden nugget? What is the experience of finding cancer? Am I going to allow it to be a bad day? Or is this the best gift ever? Is it learning that someone's angry with me that I wasn't aware of? Is that a bad day, or is that a gift? Because now I can go and make some repair. What is this moment trying to teach me? There's a guy, Nick Vujicic, I think is how I say his name, Nick Vujicic. Anyway, probably most of you have seen him, but he redefines what a good day looks like. This guy is incredible, right? He was born without arms and legs. He just has this one little kind of stump, I think, on his right, where his right leg should be. Has so many limitations, right? He faced intense bullying and horrible depression, moments of such deep despair growing up because he was so very limited. And there were many, many days that he could have labeled as bad days. But because he did this work on himself, he over time shifted from, why is my life like this, to how can I use my life to help others? And he does. Now he travels the world. He encourages millions of people. He gives speeches and talks. I've watched as he allows people to come up after he speaks and hug him. And he can't even return the hug. He doesn't even have arms to return the hug, but he lets them hug him because it fills them with joy. He's such a beautiful example. He, of all people born on this earth, could say that every single day is a bad day. But he did not allow his circumstances to define his life. His circumstances didn't change. His body's not different, but his interpretation of his limitations did. His interpretation of his life purpose did. And that's all because of the way he thinks. I want to leave you with one final scripture. This one is Romans 12:2, and it says, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Transformation doesn't start with changing your circumstances, right? It starts with changing how you're thinking about them. That's how a bad day becomes a manageable moment that will lead to more good days and more good moments. I love you so much, my friends. This is such important work. Soak this in. Listen to it 2 or 3 times if you need to, but get this message in your head so that you can enjoy a better life experience. Have a great day. Make it a great day. And I will see you next week. Bye now. Hey, if you are ready to get unstuck and make your midlife amazing, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss an episode. And I want to invite you to join my Empty Nest Academy, where you will learn how to transform your mind, your relationships, and your life. Come free yourself of regret and disappointment and be so much happier. Listen, sis, we've got one shot at this big, beautiful life. Let's make it amazing. Go to janecopier.com, that's JaneCopier.com, and sign up today. And if you're not sure what's right for you, book a free consultation with me and we'll talk it over together. And we'll make sure to get you on the path that serves you the best. See you inside.